GP Bike's Pro Superbike division starts the 2025 season here at Shannonville Motorsport Park. Defending champion Ben Young starts second, but can he make his way to the top?
They say change is inevitable, and never is that more true than right now in the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championships GP Bike's Pro Superbike class. Four-time Canada Cup champion Ben Young shocked the sport this offseason, leaving his exceptionally successful BMW effort for a potential-filled but unproven Honda program, causing a domino effect across the class. As the winds of change rip across Shannonville Motorsport Park ahead of round one, Young has a target on his back and more motivation than ever before driving him forward. Feet on the pegs, tuck in tight, it's time to go Superbike racing in Shannonville. Marshall Ferguson alongside Colin Fraser as we are here at Shannonville Motorsport Park. It is wonderful to be back for another season of CSBK on TSN. Colin, and in the GP Bikes Pro Superbike feature class, there is a plethora of changes going into this year.
At the start of this calendar year, Ben Young made a bombshell announcement that he was swinging from BMW after a career on BMW to ride for Honda. And that caused an even bigger surprise that Alex Dumas, who rode a Ducati last year and previously raced for Suzuki, has more or less become a replacement for Ben Young on the Fast Company Economy Lube BMW.
And on that BMW, Alex Dumas takes BS Battery pole position as we get a look at the grid here in Shannonville.
0.3 of a second across those top three, and pole on row 2 is Guerin, and he definitely is capable of running with those top three. His times are there. Guerin battled with Dumas at the regional last weekend.
One-speed Suzuki of Trevor Daly right there on the third row alongside Sebastian Tremblay, Connor Campbell. Zoltan Frast on a BMW this year as well.
Yeah, and he's been showing well. He's been out at Shannonville a couple of times, so he is ready to go.
See the back end of the grid here, Tyrone Tavares winding things down alongside Laurent La Liberté Girard making his debut up in the Pro Superbike classes. We get a look around the track at Shannonville.
Perimeter track here at Shannonville. You look at that lap record that was set on Q tires a long time ago, but interesting that the technical people who are analyzing the data thought that a lap in the 103 range was possible in qualifying.
Amazing time. Let's head down to our pit reporter, Sarah Said.
Thanks, Marshall. A new season, but the same rivalry in the GP Bikes Pro Superbike division as Alex Dumas narrowly beat defending champion Ben Young for pole position here in the opener at Shannonville. And though the competition is familiar, the bikes they are riding are not. This season, Dumas switches from a Ducati to an Economy Lube BMW machine, while former BMW racer Young joins Honda on a CBR 1000 RRR. Both racers say they feel confident on their new machines, but are still adjusting. For Dumas, there was a small mishap in practice with the setup and suspension that his team is working on, and with Young, it's a challenge of timing. He says his bike was just finished being built 1 week ago, and there are still some unknowns when it comes to figuring out limitations, like challenges with shifting. Still, Young says that his experience helps him a lot, and he doesn't feel any pressure competing here today in round one. Back to you.
Thank you, Sarah, as we get a look at the Power Sports TO starting lights. The revs are high, we're ready to go. The lights are out, and we're full throttle in Shannonville. Great start on the outside by Sam Grant, and loops all the way around the Honda of Ben Young into turn number 1, but Jordan Zook trying to latch on to Alex Dumas.
And I think we have 3 Hondas in the top 6, so that is an impressive feat for the CBR 1000 RR-R.
As you see Zook taking a look inside on Alex Dumas. Guerin holding on to third after that fantastic start from his 4th position on the grid. They head towards the back section here at Shannonville for the first time into the hairpin and pick up the drive.
And McKay is in 5th on his CBR, and that's important because he's trying to make that last step onto the tail of the top guys, and he's right exactly where he needs to be.
First time opening it up on the back straight. You can see the wiggles there as Guerin picks up 2nd spot from Zook.
Yeah, Zook has his eyes full of that BMW, and Yeah, we're watching Dumas here, and he looks very comfortable for a guy on his first official lap.
Incredible to see the comfort that Alex Dumas has been able to pick up on multiple different manufacturers. Suzuki over onto the Ducati last year, and now onto this BMW. They complete lap number 1. It's BMW, and Kawasaki.
And then some Hondas. We got to mention Trevor Daly on his Supersport spec Suzuki. He's 6th. That is a really strong effort.
As Phil de Gama Blanchette into 7th position right now. Trevor Daly sitting in 6th as they start to separate this front pack of 4, and David McKay trying to hold on and run times to stick with this front group.
Yeah, and we got to mention Connor Campbell on his resurgent Kawasaki program, and Frost, who's doing very well on that ex-young yellow BMW.
You can see the quickness that they get out of the hairpin with here as the BMW stretching their legs, heading down into turn number 6.
Yeah, Zoke trying to stay in the draft, and Young trying to figure out how this Honda races. He has never been in a race on this motorcycle, so Young has a lot of work cut out for him. He qualified very well. The ultimate pace of that bike, the lap time is good, but how it performs in traffic, what he can do with the other bikes around him is an unknown.
Oh, and someone is down here at the end of the back straight, and that is Tyrone Tavares, that Sierra Construction Yamaha, and good to see him up onto his feet, but a high-speed tumble at the end of the back.
And I think that issue really there is that off the track, it's been raining so much, the conditions have been miserable. There he is running off the back straight, and it's just so wet and sloppy. It's very, very hard to slow down.
So Tavares will walk his way to safety as the marshals collect that Yamaha. And back to the front we go. The economy loop BMW of Alex Dumas continues to be in control. You see the split there, 2/10 back is Grant all over the tail of that BMW.
I'm not normally a huge fan of the rear-facing view, but that was fantastic and looked like a MotoGP.
It is a great collection of talent here at the front. David McKay trying to hold on, but this front pack of 4 stretching their legs out in front of the rest of the field, and a very happy Alex Dumas on his new BMW machine leads. Portions of the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship are brought to you in part by BS Battery, Gulf Race Fuels, and EBC Brakes and Clutches. Closed captioning for the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship is brought to you in part by AIM Insurance, Keen Truck Incorporated, and Revs for Rhett. Welcome back to Shannonville Motorsport Park. Work lap number 5 in the GP Bikes Pro Superbike feature class as Alex Dumas leading out in front and fastest on lap number 4. He put down a 105.127. But the BMW tandem here of Garan and Dumas continue to play shot for shot, as do Zoke and Young in behind.
Yeah, remember that a couple of these guys are racing these bikes for the first time. Garan basically is on the same setup that he had last year, and he and Dumas battled at the regional last weekend, so they are well aware of each other's performance. It's a slightly cool.
Oh, something's wrong here with Sam Garan. He took a look over his shoulder, started waving his hand, and what are we hearing? Is there a mechanical issue? He's in 4th right now, but trying to sort out, is there anybody in behind him that he needs to get out of the way from?
Well, David McKay's going to be close, and definitely we heard something funny going on with the BMW, but it's still running, and he's not that far back. He's still in front of McKay.
So Dumas out in front now, as we'll see whether or not Zoke tries to close the gap with Ben Young, realizing an opportunity in his first time on this Van Dolder's home team Honda. And out in front, Alex Dumas continues to just put his head down and try to stretch the field.
And you can see Garant pulling all the way over to one side, and Bike seems to be back up to speed. He hasn't lost any more ground than he lost on the front straightaway at the beginning of this lap.
So the EFC Group BMW of Sam Garan dropping from 2nd to 4th, but for now still remaining in this race as Zoke continues to try and close down on Alex Dumas out in front as they round their way to complete lap number 6 of 20.
And McKay is not far back in 5th, but then that battle, oh no, more trouble here for Garan. That definitely, something is wrong. That bike does not sound the way it should. It sounds like it's in limp mode.
And coming out of turn number 9 seems to be where Garan had trouble on both of these laps, and he's going straight through. So Sam Garan will retire from race number 1 of the GP Bikes Pro Superbike feature class in 2025.
And I can tell you what he's doing right now. He's cycling the dash. He's trying to cure the problem, and sometimes you're going to laugh. Turning it on and off can be the thing that fixes it.
And we've seen that in MotoGP World Superbike, just trying to figure out a way to reset the mind, the internals of that BMW, but for
also,
now.
your laptop.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But he'll sit on the sidelines for now and watches the wiggle of Jordan Zook trying to get everything he can. Is he trying to override perhaps that Kawasaki to get as much pace as he can, realizing that Grant's pulled off?
Well, the last couple of years we've debated Zook returning from a very serious motocross injury, and he just hasn't had the facility to ride really hard. And it's interesting now, not only is that Kawasaki running a little better, but he's pushing it a little harder, and his braking is so aggressive. That tells me that Jordan Zook is pretty close to 100%.
Yeah, he's the fastest man on track in that past lap. 105.289 for Jordan Zook. Looks like someone else is gone. That's Ernest Bernhard on the Farnham Lager Yamaha. And so the 72 takes a trip through the high grass at Shannonville, while Dumas continues to try and fend off Jordan Zook.
Yeah, Yamaha do make motocross bikes, but that is not one of them.
Oh, that is a bad spot for Ernest Bernhard, as now he'll try to get out of the way as Alex Dumas makes his way onto the back straight once again. And smooth sailing here, but this three-pack really separating themselves from the field, as you can see Bernhard in the background there trying to get out of the way of the leaders.
Yeah, he took a left turn at Albuquerque there, but the good news is that he didn't have an effect on the battle for the lead as we watch Dumas continue to deal with the pressure, and it is substantial pressure.
Putting in the laps right now as Sam Grant has rejoined down in 9th place right now in the running order, so just behind Zoltan Frast on his Claire Cycle BMW, Connor Campbell in 7th, Trevor Daly and Phil DeGama Blanchette in a battle as well for 5th place.
Yeah, good to go on board there when we were with Young on the Honda. Shows that that bike is running very well, and of course the biggest question going into the season is would they get that Honda more or less working in time for these races. The weather has not been cooperative in Canada for testing. Zook and Young were both at Grand Bend, and Young stayed even though the weather was bad with McKay and kept testing and showed up here in pretty good shape. And there's Grant probably limping into the pits, I would guess.
And making his way around the track, so he was in 9th, but yep, to the left of the barriers there. And that BMW does not sound happy, and neither will be Sam Garand at the end of his race. The first of 2025 does not go the way he imagined kicking off the season, but Alex Dumas out in front as Garand stumbles through race 1. Welcome back to Shannonville Motorsport Park on lap number 13. This is your top 3 as it's Alex Dumas out in front of Jordan Zook and Ben Young, and they continue to stretch their advantage on the field. It looks like this will be the podium unless there is anything untoward as they continue to weave their way around Shannonville. For the first time, the number 1 plate, well, he's on a Van Doler's home team Honda in 2025.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years with a race package that's shown up and ready to go, and it's been I guess the first time since 2018 that we've actually had to build a race bike. Well, 2021 I suppose. Yeah, so it's been a lot of work for the guys, and more of a lot of unknown is the biggest thing. So yeah, it's been a lot of work for Willie and Scott and Steve with the electronics, and but we're doing okay. It's going to be a long process. It's not going to happen overnight. It's been a busy off season, and it's finally here.
Busy off-season took them to Alberta and British Columbia to try and do some testing. They got some work done, but it has been uphill. A lot of effort into getting the most out of the Honda. But I think if anyone was given the opportunity to be third within a shout of the win with just a few laps to go, and it's Ben Young, who's famous for making up a 2.5 seconds in no time flat, the CBR launch is a very strong one.
Well, and being so early on in this program and being able to stick with Alex Dumas up front, albeit that Economy Loop BMW also very new to Alex Dumas, but just the ability to stick with this pack, it really does seem to give some confidence to Ben Young.
Talking about Economy Loop, all 3 of the top bikes are sponsored by Economy Loop. Let's talk about Jordan Zook's Kawasaki program. Revisions in electronics rules, revamped package for Zook. Fast Company built the engines. Fast Company is Scott Miller. He's the guy who's prepping the Dumas BMW that's leading. We now have a situation where Jordan is doing, oh boy, Jordan really aggressive on the brakes to get the lapper there, and that was a crucial moment. Let's see what Young does.
Yeah, Laurent Liberté Girard makes his way out of the way as Ben Young gets stuck in behind a pivotal moment in this race with 5 laps to go. 3 different manufacturers in the top 3, and Ben Young's former BMW teammate Sam Garand is in the pits. As of course he had the mechanical issue, it seemed, in this race earlier on. Let's hear from him with Sarah said.
I'm with Sam Guérin. Sam, can you tell us what happened out there in the race?
We were there battling for the lead, and I had sudden loss of power, so then I had error codes, and I had to restart the bike. Then I changed mode, went to inter mode, rain mode, and it was all the same. So we came out, retired, and we plugged the computer. So now we know that it's a throttle body error or something. So it's finished for us for race 1.
Thank you.
It's a shame that that happened to Guérin. He looked so good, and there was a real opportunity there, given that he hadn't done much in terms of his program to change it. The other guys are on new motorcycles, so it was an opportunity to kind of go up the middle and score some points, and he really needed to take advantage. We thought, based on last weekend at the Race Moto event, the regional, that he might be a potential winner. And honestly, early on, I thought he had a good shot at the win. And look at that, there's the Gamma Blanchette pushing hard to get after Daly Suzuki.
Yeah, absolutely. And frustrating as well for Guérin, just to put a bow on that one, Colin, because that start was sensational around the outside of Ben Young. He really took advantage, shot his way fourth all the way up into second ahead of Jordan Zook, but couldn't hang on as the bike did not want to cooperate. But a great battle for fifth place here between Phil de Gamma Blanchette and Trevor Daly.
And Daly is coming off the top Canadian performance at Daytona. Last year he had a lot of success in both our feature classes here in CSBK. De Gamma Blanchette, this is his official debut on a real superbike, that Mott's Machining Honda, which is a potent bike, and it's good to see de Gamma Blanchette making the most out of his first chance on a 200 horsepower motorcycle.
You see the CKM Kawasaki there of Jordan Zook, but there are 4 different manufacturers in the top 5 right now. It's BMW, Kawasaki, Honda, and Suzuki, and that's without having a Ducati on the grid as well, which was so powerful last season. But Dumas continues to lead on his economy loop BMW. Portions of the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship are brought to you in part by BS Battery, Gulf Race Fuels, and EBC Brakes and Clutches. Closing stages here at Shannonville Motorsport Park, Alex Dumas continues to lead as he has from the very beginning on BS Battery pole position, with Jordan Zook closing down the gap in the Van Dolder's home team Honda of Ben Young, trying to make sure he stays as close as possible, as you see a big wiggle from Dumas here late in this race on lap 17.
Yeah, but late in the race, the fuel's low, you're comfortable with the tires, you know what to expect, it's not as scary. Then, oh no, problem for Dumas.
Yeah, Zook on lap 17 takes the lead for the first time, and that will make the crowd happy as one of the fan favorites. Jordan Zook out in front of this race. Now, will he put his head down and try to create a bit of a gap on this back straight? It's tough for the Kawasaki against that BMW.
The question is, what happened to Dumas? There was some kind of mix-up there, and Young almost picked him off coming out because Dumas didn't get the drive. So let's see on our replay here. Dumas a little bit wide, and you can see him look down. Oh, he almost got almost ran over his own foot. So what's going on there is he's looking for a gear, rooting around in the gearbox, trying to find probably not neutral, which of course anyone who's ever been...
Oh, did he catch a false neutral going through that corner?
Yeah, that was the sound up. You could hear it there. That's exactly what happened.
So Alex Dumas makes a rare mistake here. And Jordan Zook out in front, but can he hold on to it? What is the best way for Zook to try and hold on to this with the way that CKM Kawasaki is riding in 2025?
Well, the only thing Zook can do is just keep doing what he's been doing. The interesting thing here for me is Dumas, who probably has never been behind Jordan Zook, or never for any length of time, and hasn't been during this race. So he has to figure out what Jordan's been up to, and Jordan's been riding really, really well and aggressively.
Look at the gap closing down here as Dumas takes a look on the inside. Been a long time since the 101 has won a race after winning so many in the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship, but making their way towards Allen's Corner here at lap number 18, and he remains in first. To see the back wheel off the ground for all 3 of these riders.
Yep, everybody's pushing hard. There's not much time left, and if this was last year, we would say Young is close enough. He's going to win this race, but he is not on the bike that he has much time with.
Dumas just trying to give a little bit of extra pressure here through the wide turn number 1 at Shannonville. They go through 2, and Zook, again, just trying to focus on what's in front of him, but man, Dumas is going to take a look here, just not close enough.
Yeah, there is a pass on the inside there. It's not an easy one, but it's been done, and it's been done by Zook, as a matter of fact, a number of times, and I can't help but watch Young and think that if he can get the draft here, he's in such a great spot.
Just thinking the same thing, Colin. As soon as they open up the throttle, we'll see the draft and now pulling out that BMW Powers down the back straight into turn number 6. Zoke trying to hang late on the brakes, but no match for the economy loop BMW. Dumas takes back top spot.
I don't want to be a contrarian, but it's not so much top speed as drive. That's what everybody's looking for, and Dumas BMW puts the power down so well, and everybody's struggling with their electronics to get the horsepower on the ground.
It's got to be so hard for Ben Young right now after winning so many races the last couple of years. So new to this Honda program, but so hungry. You can see him shopping on Dumas a minute ago. Now he's taking some looks at Jordan Zoke, but where could he potentially try and take a shot to get further up onto the podium? We'll find out as Dumas makes his way towards the hairpin at the end. We are on the final lap. The white flag is out.
And you can see some rain in the distance. We've been lucky with the weather. It hasn't been warm. There hasn't been much sun, but at least we've been in the dry.
Tactician Alex Dumas trying to stay as smooth as ever as they reach the hairpin, and one more time we'll open up the throttle and get that drive you're speaking about, Colin.
Yeah, everybody's looking at the Bridgestone slick on that BMW to see how the power comes down, and it's unfortunate Young's probably just a little too far back, and I don't know if Jordan can make anything happen, although if anyone can, it's him.
Well, he certainly loves the closing section of this Shannonville Motorsport Park layout, but Dumas through the quick chicane of 7 into turn number 8, pushes that front brake as far as he possibly can. They'll wind their way around in turn number 9. And Alex the Great will stand on top of the box to kick off 2025. Dumas takes the victory.
And that was a great race and a great last lap by 3 really strong riders, and Zoke put everything into the last few turns. He really closed it up. It's a terrific performance by 101, who of course has won more championships than everybody else. Now look at this shot. These are the last, 6 years worth of #1 plates all in one shot.
Amazing, yeah, and tons of respect between all 3 of them. They know the quality of ride that they all just had, all for very different reasons on 3 different manufacturers.
Yeah, great to see that. And of course, there we see the 3 Hondas, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and that's going to be great for manufacturers' points. And Daly has a good battle there with DeGamma Blanchette, and he's the top super sport bike. Connor Campbell showing well on his Kawasaki. Garant, our first DNF, after looking like he's a potential winner early in the race.
Let's hear from our winner, Alex Dumas.
Congratulations, Alex. It was a close race at the end there. How does it feel to secure the win?
It feels really good. We thought we had a pretty good bike for the race. There's still a couple things we can work on for tomorrow, but overall it was really good. I saw Sam at the beginning of the race beside me, and then hit the neutral going to turn 4, so he kind of let Jordan pass. Yeah, I'm really happy. First win of the season, first race of the season too. New bike with Scott and Jake this year, so it's really cool, and yeah, I think we can still improve the bike a lot, and I'm really looking forward for tomorrow.
Congratulations.
A great start to the season for Alex Dumas. Jordan Zoke on the podium once again. Ben Young in his first effort with Honda, and in a off-season of upheaval, the BMW still stands tall atop the podium. Alex Dumas, your race 1 winner.